All right, so cool. It's just a little after 6, and it's time for the team call. So thanks everybody, obviously, for joining and being on the call. We're going to go over basically all of the basics through enrollments. You know, which side to put them on, how to put them on there, why they go on one side versus the other, or why you know I've always coached to put on one side versus the other. Why not to enroll, or why not to try to build 2 centers right off the bat, and that being you and your spouse, because there's a reason that you don't, that I encourage people not to try to build under the spouse 1 and spouse 2. So I'm going to go over all those things, and we're going to get rocking here. So I'm going to go onto the share screen and try to click through some things here that hopefully will be usable for everybody. So hang on a second. Let's see. Okay. So okay. So these are the ways that you get paid in Isogenics, right? You get paid daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly, and you also get paid annually now. Okay. So daily pay is if you have someone who buys from you a pack, being a pace setter, a president's pack, or a business builder pack. Any 3 of those packs is what they call daily pay, meaning that you will be paid the next day on your ISA wallet the single PIB dollar amount. So if you do a pace setter or you do a president's pack.
Hey, Brent.
Yep.
We're not seeing anything.
Oh, you're not?
No.
It went blank.
Well, it says that I'm sharing because it says stop share.
Yeah, it's black.
Okay, let me try again. Thank you for telling me that, so I didn't just ramble on. Let's try again. How about that?
Yep, that's how it started.
Okay, let me see if you get this one. So when I open it up into a picture, do you not get that?
Nope, still the same one.
You still see the same thing? You don't see it in a bigger format?
No,
but it's fine.
Yeah, we see it.
We can read it.
That sucks. All right. Okay. All right. Well, then we'll go this route. So this is the one I start at. Can you see this where it says get paid?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. We'll just go this route. So you get paid. You get paid daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. Daily pay is, like I said, pace setter, president's pack, or business builder pack. The single PIB dollar amount is paid the next day on your ISA wallet. Okay. And that's the daily pay, right? Weekly pay is your cycle volume. So if you cycle, or if anything happens that would qualify, double PIB, those type of things will be paid on a weekly basis. Okay. And when I say that, what I tell everybody is that you get paid the second Monday after the occurrence, after the paying occurrence. Okay, that's my terminology. So if I do something today, I'll be paid 2 Mondays from now for whatever activity I do today, right? I won't be paid this coming Monday. I'll be paid the Monday following. So 2 Mondays from the paying event is how I usually say it, all right? Monthly is your pool bonus money. Okay, that's the primary monthly thing that happens, right? Some of you did very well in the pools this month. Congratulations to several of you who rocked out some nice pool money numbers. So once you're in the pools, then you will be paid that monthly, and that occurs on the Monday closest to the 15th of the month. Okay, next week it will be on the 11th of April. If you go into the back office under any of the flyers, whether it's director pools or executive pool flyer, you will see a calendar that will show you all of the monthly pay dates. Okay, but they're always going to be the Monday closest to the 15th of the month of the following month. So the money that we earned yesterday in the pools was from activity that we created in the month of February. All right. Quarterly. Quarterly is a new one because it used to be daily, weekly, monthly, and annually. Now it's quarterly because you get half of your holiday bonus pool money every quarter, and then you get the balance of those halves, if you will, I believe it's the second week of December. Okay, it used to be called, well, it still is. It's called the holiday bonus pool, but the reason they call it the holiday bonus pool is because those pool dollars used to be paid out for the Christmas holiday, and that's how it got the name holiday bonus pool. Now it's paid out quarterly, half of it quarterly, and then the balance is paid, I believe it is the second week of December. And again, if you pull the flyer, if you go to contest promotions in your back office and you pull the flyer, you will see that it says the exact date that those monies are paid out, right? So people ask those questions all the time, but most questions are pretty easy to find if you navigate through the back office under a contest of promotions under the relevant contest that the question is being asked about, all right? Any questions on that? I'm going to ask that same thing at the end of each of these screenshots. So does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. All right. We're going to go to the next one. Let's see. Should be this way. Right. Upfront money. Product introduction bonus. Product introduction bonus. That's PIBs. Okay. That is a weekly paid item. Rank advancement bonuses, RABs. Those are also a weekly paid item. And new consultant bonuses are also a weekly paid item. Those are all monies that are paid in addition to cycle money that are paid on the second Monday from the occurrence. All right. So when you get these, and right now that incentive that we're running, where we're talking about, giving, we did this last week where we offered some additional money if you created a new consultant, and that's when you will be paid this as well. You'll receive it on the Monday following. All right. Any questions on those three items? Okay. Product introduction bonus. It's important to remember there are some packs that offer a product introduction bonus, but they do not qualify for double PIB. For example, a 9-day system has a product introduction bonus of, I believe it's $10. The athlete pack, the basic athlete pack, has a product introduction bonus of $15. However, neither of those will qualify for the double PIB. So if you do a 9-day and a president's pack, you're not getting double PIB on that president's pack. Okay, that's not going to qualify you. So you want to make sure that, again, you go into the back office if you want to get the exact things that these are relevant to, pull up the double PIB flyer, and you will see exactly what items are eligible for double PIB. One of the things I've been asked questions on is, one of them says something about 30-day packs. The custom pack, all those packs fall under that, right? Those are custom 30-day weight loss packs, all have a $25 PIB, and they all have double PIB qualifications. And kind of the way to be able to tell is that if the pack that you're offering is a 30-day system, a full 30-day system, and it has a PIB of $25 or more, then it is a double PIB pack. Okay, you will get paid double. If the base PIB is $25 or more, it is most likely a qualifying pack. I don't think there's any packs that offer $25 or more that do not qualify for double PIB. All right. Rank advancement bonuses, that kind of speaks for itself. That's your consultant, your consultant bonus, and then the director bonuses and the executive bonuses. Those are all I don't know why that says, because that's not exactly right. Because I believe the director bonuses and the executive bonuses, I believe those are 3 weeks in the rears, not just 2. I could be wrong about that, but I believe those are 3 weeks and not 2. The new consultant bonus is a weekly thing. You'll get that the second Monday after your person advances. Any questions? All right, keep moving. Next one. These are examples of your product introduction bonuses. Is $150 for the business builder, $80 for President's Pack, $50 for Pace Setter, and then these getting started packs. They call them the getting started packs. These are your basic 30 days, right? What Isagenix is trying to get us to do, and you'll notice that all these screens that I had emailed to me from corporate here are all they're all stamped by Isagenix. So they're trying to get us to change our terminology into a getting started system instead of telling somebody it's your 30-day, right? Because nobody's going to change their lifestyle and dramatically change their health in just 30 days. We really want to talk to them about it being a getting started and encourage them to look at as like a 90 or 120-day start to a new lifestyle. And then once most people get into the 60th or 90th day, they're hooked. And the hook is the fact that it becomes understandable how they are actually saving income and whatnot. So, all right. Everybody can still see that? Because I just got a pop up here on my screen. I want to make sure that it's all good. All right. Okay. Double PIBs, like it says here, when you enroll 2 or more people in the same commission week. And a commission week is Monday to Sunday. And that's all based off of midnight Eastern Standard Time. An important thing to remember is it's double PIB on 2 or more packs. So it's not just on 1, it's not just on 2. And it doesn't matter if you do a business builder and a getting started pack, it's going to be double and double. They don't have to be the same pack. It can be a mix and match. And you can, if you do 10 business builders, you're going to get double PIB on all of them, right? So it's just the way it works. It doesn't make any difference. Isagenix is not trying to make it difficult to make the money. They're going to pay out what they say they're going to pay out, right? All right, next screen. Tracks to run on. Associate, consultant, manager, director, executive. What we want people to do is to get in and get started as an associate, right? That's the basic way to get started. The only difference between an associate and a preferred customer is the new person's desire or agreement, if you will, to provide their social security number. And the reason that social security number is important is 2 things. One, Isagenix doesn't want us enrolling stop signs, street signs, dogs, cats, that sort of thing. They want a real person. We're a very compliant company. So when somebody asks me, and Tracy does a really good job of it, but when somebody asks her, she always says there's 2 reasons. One, Isagenix is a very compliant company. We're a true profession, and we do not want to have people enrolling, their cat. So we require a social security number so that we can see that we're enrolling an actual heartbeat, right? A real person. The other reason a social security number is provided is so that they can earn some income. And my response to them is always the same. And that is, look, give me your social security number. If they never even ask the question, I don't go into it. But if somebody does ask the question, then my response is this: just give me your social security number so I can put it in here, because somebody's going to see what you did. They're going to want to try it. And when they want to try it, just send them to me. I will take care of making you your money, right? That's my response. Because if Angela doesn't want to give her social, and then she says, well, why would I do that? I say, Angela, look, just give me your social, because I'm going to throw it in here. We've been around for over 13 years, multi-billion-dollar company. Nobody's trying to, jack you up here. We need your social so that we know that we're enrolling a real person. And because when somebody sees what you've done, they're going to ask you about it. And I know you said you don't want to do the business, and that's cool. Just send the person to me. I will take care of enrolling them so that you receive some money back. And they can't give you any money back if they can't 1099 you if you make over $600. If you make under $600, you're still not going to get 1099. And that usually suffices in a response. If you get somebody's like, no, that's fine. go ahead and make them a preferred customer. It's not a big deal, but just know that none of the team incentives and none of the Isogenics incentives will ever apply to someone who enrolls as a preferred customer. Okay, no free shipping, no free enrollment, no, and nothing from, if it's specifically if it's anything offered by Tracy and I or April and Garrett, I can tell you that it will not apply to an associate or to a preferred customer. I just won't do it because if they're not willing to be open enough to the idea of earning a little bit of money, they're probably not going to stay around that long anyway. So, and I don't mind them getting started, and that's fantastic if they do. I mean, we want happy product users, but we really want people that have the ability at least to earn some money if they want in the future. Consultant requires you to have 2 active associates, one on your left and one on your right. So you need an active associate right, an active associate left in order to be a consultant. An active associate is somebody who has ordered 100 BV, so 100 points in the last 30 days. A manager requires you to have 2 people that you have personally enrolled that have advanced to the level of consultant. So you plus 2, them plus 2 makes a consultant. So 2 of your people become consultants. You are now manager. Doesn't matter right side, left side, doesn't make any difference. You just need to have 2 of them. Director is you plus 2 times 6. So you enroll a person, and that happens 6 times. You take somebody that you personally enrolled and turn them into consultants. So 6 personally enrolled people that become consultants. You are now a director. They all have to be active at the same time in order for you to be a director. So if you enrolled one person and then, a few months later you enrolled another one, and a few months later, and then all of a sudden you have enrolled 6 people that all became consultants, but they're not all active, you're not a director. They all have to be they all have to be active consultants at the same time. And again, director doesn't matter. Right side, left side, doesn't make any difference. You just need 6 of them. Executive, that's where it changes a little bit. You need 10 personally enrolled people that have become consultants. And once those 10 personally enrolled people have become consultants, who's drawing all over my screen and making hearts? Silly people. It's funny. I'm laughing. I don't care. Just don't write anything bad on the screen, Angela. And then, so you need 10 personally enrolled people that have become consultants in order to make executive, right? Now those 10 have to be 5 on your left and 5 on your right. That's why it's so important when you're getting close to director that you don't really want to have 6 on one side, because it's going to be a very long road for you to get to executive if you're not throwing some people on both sides as you build. Okay. Any questions on associate, consultant, manager, director, executive? Nothing? Cool. All right, moving on. When you make consultant, there's a $50 bonus, right? When your person makes consultant from Isogenics, there's a $50 bonus. Now, sometimes in the teams, we offer some sort of a consultant match if they do it in a certain amount of times, but there is a $50 bonus from Isogenics when somebody makes consultant. There's a $250 bonus if they make manager from the day they enroll. 60 days from the date they enroll. Not 60 days from the date they get their product, not 60 days from the date they decide to do the business, 60 days from the day that they actually enroll. So it's a $250 bonus. $750 bonus from Isogenics if they become a director within the first 120 days. Okay. For those of you that are thinking this might be wrong, they changed it. It used to be 30 days to manager, now it's 60, and it used to be 90 days to director, and now it's 120. So Isogenics is trying to give us a little bit more room to let somebody get their first 30 days in, because so many people say, oh, I want to try it before I show anybody or before I tell anybody about it, which I always kind of laugh, because I think, how many times have you invited friends of yours to a restaurant that you've never tasted, but whatever. So, or a movie that you've never seen, right? Well, I'll go watch the movie, and if it's any good, then I'll invite you and we'll all go together, right? But so just know that it's $250 for the first 60 days, $750 the first 120 days, and then this stayed the same. So it's a $1,000 bonus if you make executive within the first 180 days. All right. So that's how you work your rank advancements there. All right. You plus 2, them plus 2. Real basic. You enroll 2 people, one on your left, one on your right. You enroll them both. In this example, they're using President's Packs. You enroll them both with a President's Pack. It's $80 for this one, $80 for this one, so you're going to get 80 for each. But because you enroll them both in the same Isagenix week, they doubled. So first one went to 160, the second went to 160. So 160 plus 160 is 320. After this happens, so this little thing right here that happens, you now become a consultant. So you've reached the first level of Isagenix management, and you become a consultant. So you get an extra $50. So now you plus 2, them plus 2, you're at $370, right? Now you plus 2, them plus 2 is where you're looking at here. So you've got 370 plus you're going to make $100 for each person that becomes a consultant. So each of your people that you personally enroll that become a consultant for the first 20, you're going to earn a $100 bonus. So 20 times Isagenix will give you an extra $100 for turning one of your personal enrolls into a consultant. So you plus 2, and then you're going to show them how to do the same thing. You plus 2, them plus 2. Now, if they do that, and they do that within the first 60 days, then you earn an additional $250. So now you've earned $570. I'm sorry, this is $570 right now. So, and the next screen I think shows the extra $250. But I'm going to fast forward. So you've got you plus 2, them plus 2. You do it, and you do that. That gives you $570. Then if you do this in the first 60 days, Isagenix gives you another $250. And that additional $250 will then add a total of $820. So you can make $820, they say in a month, but I mean, honestly, you can make it in a week, right? You can make it in a day if you can do it all in a day. Isagenix doesn't care how fast you do it. So let me click this stop share here for a second and go to the next screen. So, sorry guys, hang on a second. Any questions up to that point?
Brent, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
This is Diane.
Okay.
Can a preferred customer get in on the IsaBody contest?
Yes.
I thought so. Okay.
Yes, they can. Yep. The preferred customer, the only thing a preferred customer cannot do is earn any money at all. Zero. Nothing. They cannot earn anything. They can enroll people, right? A preferred customer can enroll somebody. ICH doesn't care, right? Enroll away. They can enroll people. They can do whatever they want to do. They just simply cannot earn any income. So if you've got a preferred customer that says, oh, I want to enroll somebody, okay, go ahead. I mean, they're not making any money, but they can do it, right?
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, Brent.
Yep, go ahead.
This is Randy.
Uh-huh.
I think I know the answer, but I get asked this quite often. So preferred customers, they can earn a PIB, but they cannot earn a double PIB?
Preferred customer cannot earn any money. Now, if you enroll somebody as a preferred customer, that's what you're asking, then you can earn single and double PIB on a preferred customer. If I enroll 2 preferred customers, I will still get double PIB.
Okay.
Yep. And I know that didn't used to be the case.
Right.
So that's why that's a little bit different.
Okay.
Okay, we're back to shared screen. Can you guys see it again? You guys see this okay?
Yes.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so let's see. I'm hoping that I kept these in order. Let me see real quick. Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to, I already covered the U plus 2, then plus 2. So now we're going to talk about what people seem to get confused about on a regular basis. And I want to go over this in real detail. So I really want questions. If you have any questions at all about this whole right side, left side thing, okay? When you log into your back office, I always go in the exact same way. And oddly enough, Tracy goes in a totally different way. So when she's looking at the screen that she looks at, I got nothing. But I always go, because I'm a very visual person, so I need to see the tree, right? So when you log in, I click team, then I click view placement tree, and then I scroll down and I see, in this example, I would see my name in this little box right here. And on my little box, there's a little blue arrow, and that little blue arrow, in my case, points up and to the left, right? So the tail, so if you drew a little imaginary tail from there, then that would be your outside leg. Okay, this would be your in my case, this left side would be my outside leg. My right side would be my inside leg. Now, people are like, oh, well, I want to, my friend wants to enroll, but they want to be my outside leg, my inside leg. You know what? It doesn't matter which leg you're on of mine. They both rock, right? And that's what you need to think about when you're doing your business. When you're building your business, you have two legs. It doesn't matter that one of them might create a little bit more volume than the other, but if you are truly going to do this business and you are committed to doing this business, it doesn't matter if you put somebody on your right side or your left side. As long as you put them at the bottom right or the bottom left, they are going to be supported because you are going to support them and everybody between you and them. So let's imagine that this guy right here, right, this is me, and let's imagine that this guy right here is, let's say there's 1,000 people between the two of us. Okay, let's say there's 1,000 people between here and here. If there's 1,000 people between here and here, guess what he's getting? He's getting the support of 1,000 people that are between me and him. Because this guy and all the other 1,000 people that are in here, if they enroll somebody on their right, they're going to put them bottom right. And he's going to put his bottom right. And I'm going to put mine bottom right. And you're always going to be able to your bottom right. So you're going to be continually building this bottom side. Same thing goes on your left. This person, let's say there's 1,000 people between this person and this person. All of these people are putting people at the bottom left. At all times, and this is something you guys need to make sure your people understand, at all times, they have a recommended right and they have a recommended left. What happens so many times is somebody logs in and they see all these people over here, they see all these people on their left, and then they see this spot and this spot says recommended. And so they put somebody in it, no problem. That's a no-brainer, right? They got it, they're down. But then they get told, hey, you need to put somebody on your left, and they look over here and I go, well, I don't know any of these people. And let's say this spot right here is unoccupied. So they go, okay, well, that must be where I need to put them. And so then they put them in that spot where it says unoccupied, and that's not where you want to put somebody. You don't want to put somebody in an unoccupied spot. If you don't tell your people anything other than this, and I say it all the time, if the spot does not say recommended, you've put them in the wrong position. Because there are some reasons as you grow that may be necessary to put somebody in an unoccupied spot. It may be tactically, or I don't know, tactically is probably the best word for everybody else, but there may be a reason to do it. But it is a very calculated reason where you know certain things exist. Like if this person here is brand new, I would never put anybody on their inside leg, ever. Me personally, I wouldn't enroll somebody here, right? Now she's got to enroll her person here and she's got to enroll her person there. But I'm never going to put anybody on their inside leg because I don't know if she's going to stay around or not. And if I put somebody here and she doesn't stay around, her arrow is pointing to the person that put her in, right? So her arrow is going to point up and to the left. And if this person isn't doing anything, then she's all by herself and she's going to have to build left and right, left and right, left and right. That's fine. It can be done. I mean, Jill Bowman did it that way. There's several people on the team that have done it that way. And that's fine. It's okay. It's just not what you want to set somebody up on intentionally, right?
Brent, can I say something?
Go ahead.
I think it's another good reason on why you check your tree visually that way.
Absolutely.
Because if it's just in names, you'll never see that. So I check my tree the same way, and actually this weekend I had somebody do that exact same thing.
Yep.
Excuse me. So if I wouldn't have checked it the way that you showed me, I would have never ever noticed that.
Right. And the thing about that is, Lena, is that when my ISOPulse goes off, as often as it goes off, especially during last week when it's going crazy, if I see an enrollment, I only can see the only enrollments that I can see or that Tracy can see or that any of us can see in our ISOPulse is our 4 PET. So if I see some girl named, Sally enroll somebody, and especially when it says Sally has enrolled her first team or first member, or Sally has enrolled her second, right? I am going to immediately go into my tree and I'm going to see where did she put them? Where did she put these 2 people that she enrolled, or this one person that she enrolled? Every single time I do that, right? If I see it on my ISOPulse, I am going to go and verify it. Once I go and I verify it and I know they put them in the right spot, I send, because if on your ISOPulse, just so you guys know, if you click on the verbiage, not the person's little picture or the little image of a picture, but if you actually click on the verbiage, it will pop up that you can send them a text message, an email, you can call them, whatever you want to do. So I always click text, and if my text message always reads the same thing. Hi, this is Brent Shaw with Isogenics and Team Shady Business Builders. Congratulations on your newest team member. And then I tag that with and I put checkout www.isogenicsbusiness.com, right? Every single time. So if one of your people gets enrolled and they say, hey, I got a message from some guy named Brent, then you can probably recite to them exactly what the message said, right? I am always going to do that every single time, because I want them to know that I noticed, and you guys should always make sure that they know that you noticed. Same thing goes when somebody makes a consultant. If I don't personally recognize them on Facebook, or if I don't know them otherwise, then I'm going to send that same message. Hey, congratulations, I see you made consultant. That's fantastic. Check out www.isogenicsbusiness.com. And just make sure that you're doing that. That's what ISOPulse is for, okay? All right, kind of off on a tangent there. But thanks, Lena. That's very true, and it's an important aspect. So when you're enrolling your people, your left and your right, you decide bottom right, bottom left. You make that decision and enroll them. Always bottom left. Now, when you log into your back office, there's a little tab right here by your face, or right by your name, and a little tab on your left side by your name, and it says bottom left of tree or bottom right of tree. You can click that, and it will automatically take you to the bottom of your tree, and it will say view new, or a sponsor new associate in this position recommended, or new member in this position recommended. So anytime that they need to get there, that's how they get there. It's just, unfortunately, not everybody listens to team calls, and not everybody listens to their sponsor, so they don't know, and then they go try to enroll somebody on their own, and then they put them in the wrong spot. If that happens, you have 3 business days to get them moved for free. You have 6 business days to get them moved for $25. And if it's over the 6th business day, if they agree to move them, and they don't always have to agree to move them, it costs $100 to move somebody. So what happened to us this week is I had somebody who became a manager, saw somebody in my 4 PET who became manager. So I went down to their tree, started checking it out, and realized that they had enrolled somebody on an unoccupied spot at some point. Well, this person that they enrolled in the unoccupied spot had they been enrolled for, well, it was 6 days, but it was a Saturday evening when I noticed it. So I couldn't get it changed until Monday. So today it cost $100 to move this person from this spot to this spot. Okay. Isogenics is a business. They're going to charge you money to do things. So they charge $100 to move them from this spot to this spot. But it's worth it, because again, if this person turns into a builder, the person that was above them was nobody. They'd already circled out. They weren't building the business at all. So there was no upline support for that person. And I am all about getting people put in the right spots so that if they decide to do the business, they're in the best position. Okay. If somebody's ordering regularly, they're going to start banking volume, and they may not want to do the business. But when I go to them and I say, look, you've got 1,100 points holding because you've been ordering for the last 4 or 5 months in a row, and you've got all this other volume. if you enroll 2 friends, not only are you going to make all of the PIB money and the consultant money, but you're also going to cycle 2 or 3 times. That becomes a motivator. And that's why you want them to be enrolled, and you want them to be enrolled with an auto ship. Because if they do not have an auto ship, they do not bank any volume other than their own or the people that they personally enroll. Okay? If you do not have an auto ship, say that again. If they do not have an auto ship, so let's say this guy right here, he does not have an auto ship. Okay? And he's got all these people down here, and he's got 1,000 people down here ordering away. And this guy's up here ordering, he orders his 100 BV every month. And maybe he's ordering it correctly. Maybe he's even ordering it on the 29th day instead of the 30th. So he's got, 700, 500, 600, 700 points banked, right? But he's not banking any volume from anything that's coming down here. So this side, so he's going to have a 0 on his left. He's going to have a 0 on his right. And he's going to have and it's going to say 500 or whatever personal holding volume. Whereas if he would have had an auto ship set up, he would have been banking all that volume. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Anybody have a question on that? Okay, all right. Next is, how does a cycle happen? All right, in this example, what we're looking at here, this screen here, so this girl has got a right side and she's got a left side, and she's got volume that's come up on both sides. So she's got banked volume on one side of 500, and she's got banked volume on the other side of 700, okay? And you can see how that happened. This person ordered 300, this person ordered 200, this person ordered 200, and you can see what everybody over here ordered. And so that's how they ended up with this total volume. She becomes a consultant. The software is designed, the minute that you become a consultant, to go in and identify the points that are available. You don't have to do anything. The software is going to do it for you. So the minute you become consultant, you're eligible to cycle. So the software comes in, recognizes there's 700 points over here, 500 points over here. So it's going to take 600 points away from this side, 300 points away from this side, and give her $54.10 or 11 cents, depends on the calculations they've got. So that's what the cycle is worth, $54.10 or $54.11. It depends. And I don't really know what it depends on. I just know that sometimes I've seen it $54.10 and sometimes I've seen it $54.11. But that's how she's going to get paid, and that's how she's going to earn a cycle. And it does not matter who enrolled any of these people. It doesn't make any difference if this person that enrolled didn't enroll 100 BV here. They enrolled 100 BV way down in here somewhere. That same volume is going to bank on her right, and that same volume is going to bank on her left. As long as she's active with an auto ship, if she can see the person, if you can navigate to them, if you can click on their name, they are part of your tree. And if you see somebody below you that's on your team that's doing the business, but everybody above them has quit, or somebody's just not helping them, or whatever it is to your most important benefit to reach out to that person and try to help them build their team. Okay? Because I don't care where somebody's way down in here someplace else. I'm going to reach down to them and help them if I see volume coming from their position, if I can tell they're trying to do something. And generally what happens is it comes up on your ISOPULSE, and you get a notice that somebody enrolled somebody or somebody became consultant, and then you dig down and you find out, holy cow, this person's down here working all by themselves and they've got a little mini team going on. So I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, this is Brent Shaw with Team Shady, with Isogenics and Team Shady Business Builders. I know that you're part of the team via, and I always say the same thing, via Lena. Let's say that I saw that Lena had enrolled her, and say, you're part of my team via Lena, and I realize that Lena isn't doing the business anymore, but I am here to help you and support you. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. In the meantime, check out www.isogenicsbusiness.com. That's going to be my message to them. Okay? They may respond, they may not respond. I can't fix them if they don't, but if they do, then I'm going to make sure that they respond. Then I'm going to make sure that they're in the pages. I'm going to make sure that they're in Great Nutrition. I'm going to make sure that they're in Team Shady Business Builder or Team Shady Business Builder, and I'm going to make sure they're in XHP. Those are 3 pages I'm going to make sure that they're in. If they're in those 3 pages, I know at least, even if they don't like me, they're getting information from somebody, okay? Or at least they're eligible to get information from somebody, okay? All right, any question on that? And then I'm going to go into this whole spouse thing.
I just want to add, I think it is important that you know nobody's building with them. Like, don't reach out to people who have coaches that are currently coaching them.
Yeah, kind of, right? Here's my difference on that, Lena, is that if they are below you someplace, so they're down in your downline, they're part of your team. Right? If there's somebody below me, they're part of my team. I don't care who sponsors them, who coaches them, who's there. They're part of my team. I want them to know that I'm available. And if they need anything, because again, maybe it's somebody that's on your team, but they don't like you, right? They just don't like you, right? Because it happens to me, right? I've got people that don't like me, and I'm okay with it. So if Jill Bowman reaches down to somebody and says, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, because she used to do it all the time when she was really working this leg, and she would reach down to him all the time because they connected with her different than me, right? I'm not going to go down and actively say, oh, hey, here's the deal. I don't like what Lena's doing. I would never, ever do that, right? Because you've got your own coaching style. I've got my style, and I'm only saying Angela and Kelly, because they're on my screen here. Kelly's got hers. Angela's got hers. So I'm just going to make sure that they know that we're available and that this is where it's at. And then if they reach out to me, I am going to ask that question. Hey, I know that Lena is a part of your upline. I know that she's coaching. Are you connected with her? Yeah, I'm connected with her. Fantastic. Then I'm going to push them back to you to make sure that they're getting coached from you. Then if they send me a message, yeah, but she met me in high school and I didn't like her because she called me names. And so I would really rather talk to somebody else. Outstanding. I'll take care of that. Then I'm going to send you a message and say, Lena, I'm talking to Kelly, and Kelly doesn't like you because you called her names, but I'm going to help her. Okay? And then we're going to do that, because that's how you run a business as business leaders. You open up the pathways so the conversations take place between the leaders. And it doesn't mean that all of us leaders have to get along. Okay, this is really important you guys get this. I do not expect that every leader on Team Shady gets along. It's going to happen that they don't, because there's personalities, right? We've all got egos, we've got personalities, we've got our quirks, we've got, bald head, long hair, whatever. There's differences. So don't get caught up in that. Just be professional in your approach, and always make sure that if you've got an issue with somebody else's team member, that you reach out to the upline executive of that team member and say, because let's say that somebody on your team, Lena, said something in Team Shady that I didn't like. I'm not going to reach out to them directly. I'm going to find out who's their upline. It's going to be you. We have an open line of communication. I'm going to say, Lena, Diana said something that is not appropriate. Can you address that? And you say, yeah, no problem. Right? Done. I'm not going to reach out to Diana directly, because Diana doesn't know me. If all of a sudden I reach out to Diana and I go, hey, Diana, you can't say that in here. And because a text message doesn't come across right, you can't read the tone. And so all of a sudden she's like, who the hell is this guy? And why is he saying this to me? And, oh, I know who he is. He's got the team, and I've made him mad, so I'm never going to say anything in that page again. Right? Don't do that. Okay? Be respectful of each other as builders and as team leaders, because you're going to want that same treatment when it comes back to you. Right? We had that happen recently where another team leader reached out and did something to one of our team leaders, and I was pissed, right? Because it was a total unrelated team leader reached out to one of the people on our team and basically berated them. And instead of coming to me, because they knew the person was on my team, it would have been an easy check, and coming to me and saying, hey, Brent, do this, this, and this. Did you see this? I think you guys can agree to this. I'm a very hands-on person, so I would have certainly reached out and dealt with that issue. Whereas this way that it happened, I feel like was unprofessional and just misguided, because it was a big miscommunication that could have easily been dealt with a simple phone call, right? So you guys, seriously, as business leaders and as team leaders, be in communication, even if you don't like each other that much. If there's a problem with somebody on their team or your team or whatever, right? Deal with these issues up front. Don't wait till, they become bigger than they can be dealt with. So anyway, I'm off of that topic. Okay, so on to the spouse issue. All right, so we're going to say that this girl, and I'm going to call her Jill just because, I don't know, she looks like a Jill. So Jill here is married to Tom, and she's going to enroll Tom, right? So let's pretend that all these spots are blank, okay? All these positions are all blank. And Jill has got her little arrow, and it's pointing up and to the right, okay? So this arrow is pointing up and to the right, and Jill calls me up and says, Brent, I'm going to enroll my husband. Where do I enroll him? I'm going to say to enroll him on her inside leg, okay? And in this particular case, since her arrow points up and to the right, the tail of the arrow would come down this way, so this would make it her outside leg. And I'm going to say, Jill, enroll him on your inside leg. So she's going to enroll Tom on her inside leg, right? And then she's going to enroll her friend Jane over here on her left side, right? So Jill's good. She enrolled Jill, and she enrolled Jane, and she enrolled Tom, and she's off and running, right? She's enrolled 2 people. Now Jane here, she takes off and she starts enrolling more people, right? She enrolled these 2, and she keeps enrolling. She keeps building. Jill isn't digging it. She got upset, whatever. She called customer service, and she didn't like the way they treated her, whatever the case might be. And so she decided she's not going to do this because it doesn't work and Isogenics isn't for her. And Jill quits, right? Because she's not happy. Tom's quitting too, right? And here's why you put the spouse on the inside leg, because if Jill quits, Tom's quitting. He's not going to stay and build. They're a husband and wife. They're both done. But Jane over here, she's rocking and rolling. She loves it, right? She's made some money. She's up. She's rocking. So she's going to keep going. Well, guess what happens since Jane is here? She's still got all the upline support that are putting people below her on her left side. So everybody above her is enrolling people down this left side. And as they continue to enroll people down this left side, she's fully supported. She's all good. So imagine if we swap that. So instead of Jill putting Tom here, Jill put her friend over on this side and put Tom on this side, and then Jill quits, and in this case, Tom, who had been here, he quits. Then Jane's sitting over here. Who's above her and rolling below her? Nobody. Okay, her arrow is pointing up and to the left. It's pointing at Jill, and Jill is done. So nobody's helping her build her right, in this case, her right side, other than her. And then if she gets this guy, she gets her friend Bill or Pete here on board, then Pete's going to start helping her maybe. But it's just going to be more, it's going to be a more difficult, I shouldn't say difficult, it's going to be a slower build because it's her and whoever she gets on enrolled under her get to start building this leg. All right, does that make sense to everybody? If it does not make sense, and if you don't feel like you can explain it, please ask. Because this question gets asked all the time.
Brent, I would like to talk to you later about that, about my situation.
We'll ask now. Unless you
Well,
talk about something.
in my situation, I didn't know all this at the beginning, and I put Herb on my outside leg.
Okay, so that's a great comment, Diane. So here's why that doesn't matter now. Okay, you have stayed around. Okay, so you've already gone past this whole issue of if you quit or not, right? You're not quitting. Herb's not quitting, so it doesn't matter. Since you brought that up, let's do it this way. Jill is sitting here. She enrolled her friend Jane and her friend Bill. Okay, she enrolled these 2 people are her friends, and then kind of like you. And then she went on and she started building, and life's good. And then she calls me up. She goes, "Hey, I'm going to enroll my spouse. Where should I put him?" Doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference. Put him on your left side, your right side, doesn't make any difference. Put him on either side you want, because whatever side you put him on, it's all good. Now, I'm going to recommend that you put them on your lesser volume side. And the reason I'm going to tell you to put them on your lesser, if you have one, and you may not have one, but if you have a lesser volume side, then I'm going to say, yeah, put your spouse on your lesser volume side, because that way when you order and he orders, then those points stack up on your lesser volume side, which helps you cycle more often. So it doesn't matter in your case, it doesn't make any difference because you haven't left. Okay. You've already proven that you're staying, you're here, life's good. You're not going anywhere. Only reason I say to do that initially is because if she leaves, you don't want to leave a team unsupported.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. Anything else? Any other questions?
Hi, Brent. It's Carrie.
Okay. Hi, Carrie.
I'm still confused with the inside and outside leg. I can barely see your picture, but looking at that, I understand the inside outside, but when I look at it in the back office, it doesn't show up that way.
Okay. Let me see if I've got a squiggly here, if I can draw something. All right. So in your back office, when you go to Team View Placement Tree, you're going to see your name in a square. Obviously, it's not your picture; it's a name, right? And that is going to have an arrow that's going to point one way or the other. Kind of what I just did there. You see that arrow?
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you about the tail. I never noticed the arrow.
Yep, there's an arrow. And that tail, if you could draw a line from the tail of it, it would go like this, right? And that's going to indicate your outside leg. Okay?
Okay.
You have a left side and you have a right side. Now, some people have a, let's see if I can do this here. Some people's arrow points the other way, right? So some people's arrow points, let's see if I can get this in here. Some people's arrow points this way, right? Like this guy's arrow is going to point this way. This person's arrow is going to point this way. But this person's arrow is going to point this way. And this person's arrow is going to point this way. And this person's arrow is going to point this way. Because your arrow always points towards the person that enrolled you. Okay? So let's say that this guy right here was enrolled by her. That's why his arrow is pointing up into her. Okay?
Okay.
So that's the direction that arrow is always pointing. It doesn't matter, and it's also pointing toward what would be considered upline support, right? That's why I'm saying if this guy goes away, I'm sorry, in this particular scenario, if Jill here goes away, and this person's arrow is pointing to Jill, then she's done. There's nobody here. This is blocked out. There's nobody there to help her. Does that make sense?
Sort of. I'm just trying to figure out when I am helping my associates make spouse or family member, and I get confused. What's their inside, outside?
And what you got to do is you just got to go and look and see where their square is at, and then look and see where their arrow is pointing. Or tell them, say, hey, go to your back office, because I do this all the time on the phone, right? Go to your back office, go to Team View Placement Tree, scroll down, see your name in the square, and tell me, does that arrow point up and to the left, or does that arrow point up and to the right? And they'll be able to tell you, oh, it points up and to the left. Okay, well then your outside is your right, and your inside is your left. Okay, you have,
Okay.
and some, you'll hear other people other teams, they'll have different terminologies, right? There's all kinds of different terms for, your right or your left. You've got two sides. You've got a left side, you got a right side, you got an inside and outside. I try not to use any of the other terms. Now, one side may be stronger today than the other side, but that's not that isn't guaranteed to always stay that way. There's plenty of people, my sisters included, that used to have one side that was, because her outside, right? April's outside used to be her strong leg. Okay. This used to be her strongest leg. And then her inside was her weaker leg, if you will. It's not that way anymore. Her inside leg now outproduces this outside leg dramatically. Okay. So don't get caught up with the fact of, left side, right, inside, outside. Don't worry about that too much. I'm sorry. Inside, outside, pay attention to that and pay attention to left and right. But this whole major volume, minor volume, weaker side, stronger side, that can change. And it oftentimes does, especially for real builders, because you will find that you oftentimes you'll outproduce your team leg or your outside leg, whatever the hell people call it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, and I want to make sure, Carrie, that gives you an explanation. Don't feel
Yes.
bad about
I didn't notice the arrow thing, so that helps.
Okay, cool. All right. Anybody else?
Correct. Why does the spouse have to enroll their spouse?
Policy, Isogenics policy. If a spouse, here's worst case scenario. You enroll let's say these two people are married, okay? And you enroll this guy over here and you enroll his wife over here. Isogenics policy says you can't do that. They say you've got to enroll one spouse has to enroll the other. Isogenics policy, if something happened and Isogenics wanted to for some reason, let's say that this side had already been developed, was all good and going, and let's say I'll give you an example. Let's say they're going to get a divorce, right? They're all happy when they signed up, but now they're going to get a divorce, right? They're making some money, and he got enrolled first. Okay. Actually, let's flip it around the other way around, just because I've got to say it this way. Let's say she gets enrolled first, and she knows the rules, and she's mean, right? She's a mean wife, and she's going to get rid of, and she knows what's getting ready to happen, but she knows they're going through divorce. She contacts Isogenics corporate and says, "Hey, my husband's enrolled on the other side. He's supposed to be on my side." Isogenics corporate is going to come in, and they are going, somebody please stop doing that. You're over the top of the drawings here. You want to, she could literally say to enroll, the Isogenics would then come in and move him and every single person that he's enrolled over to under her. Okay. Isogenics corporate could do that. And that would really be a bad thing for you. And it could be a potentially bad thing for anybody that's on this side. Because Isogenics corporate can literally come in and pull that entire pot of people and put them over here underneath her. Does that make sense? You may not like it, but that's just policy. Okay. Any other questions on that topic? Or the right side, left side tree thing?
I do, Brent. This is Patty. Hi, I only have a few people, and my right side, there's like thousands of BV. And on my left side, it's like my daughter and a couple friends and some people that went inactive. So it's really hard for me to cycle. So why is my left side so small compared to the right side that's got thousands?
Because in your case, and you said which side has the thousands, your right side?
The
Okay.
inside. Yeah.
So in your case, you're this person right here. All right.
Yep.
So now we're going to change this. This is no longer Jill. This is Patty. So this is Patty. And Patty's got an upline that is building. And that upline is throwing people over here. Boom, 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 boom. Right? They are just building this side like crazy.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of this side?
Me.
You. Right? So until you get people over here that start building your team along with you, that's when you'll start cycling. Okay. And that's why I tell people all the time, you've got to understand that you can make a little bit of money in this business by you doing all the work. You will make money that you can't imagine when you have a team that is of people that want to build equally for each other. Okay. So what you need to find, and they don't just jump out of the woodwork at you. I wish they did, but you've got to, be out there and be open to enrolling people and showing your friends that you've already enrolled how to enroll people. And as that happens, then you're going to create more volume over here. And as more volume is created, you're going to start using some of this volume that's accumulating over here. Because you've got what they call a power leg, right? So you've got one leg that's significantly stronger than the other. And when you have that, basically your impulse is going to be to always enroll people on this left side. Okay.
Right.
Be careful of that. Okay. What I would tell you is if you're fortunate enough to have one leg that's dramatically stronger than the other, set a goal that maybe is like 3-to-1. So you enroll 3 people on your left, 1 on your right, 3 on your left, 1 on your right. Because in order to make executive, because you've got 2 jobs in Isogenics, 1 is to become an executive and 2 is to make more executives. That's your 2 jobs in Isogenics. That's it. You don't have any others. So in order to make executive, you have to have 5 consultants on your right and 5 consultants on your left. And if you throw everybody over here on your left, then when the day comes that you want to become an executive, it's going to be difficult because you might only have 1 or 2 people over here. You've got to have 5 full consultants.
Yep, got it.
Okay?
Okay, thanks.
You bet, absolutely. Anybody else?
Hey, Brent.
Yep, who is it?
It's Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
Hey, I was just gonna say, is there a way that you can put on your screen like the actual tree, and you can use mine if you want, just to show people. Like I was sitting down with a new person the other day, and they were gonna enroll someone, and when I pulled it up, they had like, you know, nobody on their inside leg, and then they had people I had enrolled on their outside leg, and they were like, oh, I don't have to enroll anybody over there because there's already a bunch of people. And so I had to explain to them, you didn't enroll those people, so they don't really count, except for they count for your BV, but they don't count for your enrollments. So maybe if you show that screen, it would be helpful to kind of let people see how that works.
So what am I trying to show? What works? How much?
Well, I think it's confusing to new people when they go in to enroll someone and they see a bunch of people underneath them on one side that they don't know, and they think that, you know, they already have people enrolled, but it's not their enrollments.
Okay.
So to get to consultant, they need to see, like, to go to bottom right, like what that looks like, I think.
Okay. Hang on a second. I'm getting logged in, guys. Hang on a second.
Maybe explain the difference between personally enrolled and you know, other people enrolling them.
No, absolutely. I get you. Let's see. I'll go to hang on just a second. I'll go to a friend of mine that I know he'll laugh if he knows I used him as an example. So make sure this looks okay before I pop it up here. All right, I'm trying to make it as discreet as I can, guys. So hang on just a second. Let me get it covered. Okay, that should be good. All right. All right, so let me go back to screen share. And okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm not going to rotate the screen. I'm not going to move the screen around because I've got on here what I want you to see. So Ed Diaz, right, is my personally enrolled. Okay. Ed has these people under him, but he didn't put them there. Okay. If you look here, Ed's got 2,904 people under him. Okay. Got a lot of people under him, right? Of those 2,904 people of them, 2,866 of them are on his right side. Okay. So his right side is a power leg. Okay. He's got a lot of volume that comes in over here. You can kind of see the bottom of the screen here. He's got like whatever, 13,000 so far this week, right? That has come up on his right side. So he's got a lot of volume that is happening on his right side. He's got people over here that he's enrolled, he's got a couple people over here he's enrolled, but none of these people that you see here did he enroll. Okay. Now these people over here he enrolled. Okay. That's his left side. So kind of like what Patty was talking about, right? He's got this side over here, which is his inside leg, and then he's got this side over here, which is his outside leg. because again, here's his arrow, right? And the elongation of that arrow would be this way. So this would be his outside leg, right? Now, if he decided to enroll somebody on his right or his left, he's going to look, if he's brand new, this is all he would see. And if he was brand new, all he would see is this would say unoccupied. This one would say unoccupied. This one might, or actually this might say all kinds of stuff, but this says unoccupied, and this would say sponsor new associate in this position recommended, and this one would be unoccupied and unoccupied, right? That's what he would be looking at if he was brand new, right? Or actually, I shouldn't say if he's brand new. If he's never enrolled anybody, that it would say sponsor new associate or sponsor new member in this position recommended, and then he would wonder, why do I have all these people over here? Okay. The reason he has all these people over here is because this arrow is pointing toward other people, and these people that are above him are building. Okay. The people that are above him are putting people on their right, their bottom right, their bottom right, their bottom right. Okay. Over and over and over again. And because they're putting him on his bottom right, he's growing in size. He's growing in volume on his right side. Okay. Makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. On his left side, he's got the team over there too. He's got 100. I don't know what he's got members over here on his left side, but anyway, if you subtracted this from this, you'd see he's got 100 people or so over there. So he's got around 100 people on this side, right, that are doing their thing, and so that's what causes him to cycle, is because he's got some volume coming in. But this button right here, it says bottom left, and this button right here, it says bottom right, is going to take him to the bottom of his tree. Okay. So in this case, I'll click this one because it's going to show what I want it to show. But he's going to always have, no matter which of these buttons he pushes, it's going to say the same thing. So if I push this button, it's going to take us down here, and it's going to say bottom right, right? Sponsor new associate in this position, or in this spot, in this spot. And then he's going to click this person here. And this person was enrolled by somebody else. I don't know who it was enrolled by, but it was enrolled by, actually, I do know that person. So, but anyway, that's where, like, they're on my tree. I better know them, right? So this is where this enrollment takes place. So his position says bottom right. And his left side would have had the exact same thing. It just obviously would have been on the left side. Okay? Makes sense?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Let's see here. Let's get rid of this. And let's go into this. Okay. And we'll go back to screen share. All right, we'll keep moving through this.
Hey, Brent.
Yeah.
So there's a question out there, just so we can make sure that everybody's kind of understanding it. There's still some confusion with the right and the left and seeing all those people. The question is, well, then how can I become a consultant if those places are already taken?
Because you have to have an active right and an active left. And it does not matter, right? So, okay, so I get the question. So this is you, right? This is whoever this question is from. And all these spots are taken. Because you've been sitting here and you haven't done anything. You didn't start, and that's okay. But these spots aren't taken, but all these spots over here are taken. So you're going to enroll a person here. That's going to be your first. It's going to be your enrollment on your left. So you enroll your spouse in this particular case, because this would be their inside leg. So they enroll their spouse here. And then they're going to click the bottom right side button, and they're going to enroll their other person over here. Okay, way down at the bottom. Doesn't matter. They now have an active left and they have an active right. Doesn't matter that they're right below them. But all these people are benefiting them because all these people are helping them. Does that make sense? And I apologize because I'm not watching the chat. So thank you for bringing that up. It does, and if you can, please chime in, because I really want to make sure everybody gets this. This is so important, guys, and I am so appreciative that you're on the call listening. So I'm willing to take as long as we need to make sure everybody gets this. Because if you're on here, you're a builder, or you're interested in being a builder, and you're saving all of us hundreds of hours of phone conversations if you know it. Okay? Did that make sense when I gave that explanation?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to keep kicking along, and so because we are over our hours quite a bit here. So 5-cycle bonus is a $500 bonus for 5 cycles. 10-cycle bonus is $1,000, and you got to be a manager above. These are all new, which is amazing that they did this. So you've got to be a manager above. 20-cycle bonus is $2,000, so you've got to be a director or above, and then. And just in case you're wondering, this is a 1-star, this is a 2-star, and then the stars don't match up anymore, right? So now this is a 3-star, but it's 40 cycles. Okay, so in order to be a 3-star, it's 40 cycles, and that 3-star is why you get $3,000, right?
And Brent, those are paid out monthly, right?
These are not paid out monthly. You get the first half of any of these the first time you hit this number, and you get the second half the second time you hit that number.
But at month when they pay the pools out, right?
No, those are paid out on they are 2 or 3 weeks in the rears. I'm not 100% sure which. I think they're only 2 weeks in the rears, but it is not a monthly payment. No.
So you're saying the 5-cycle bonus is not 250?
Yeah, it's 250 the first time you get it and 250 the second time.
Oh, okay. I have to do it again. All right.
Yeah, you got to do it again, Diane. Make it happen. Right?
And it is 2 weeks for that because I got the 5-cycle bonus, and they didn't put it on here, but I'm pretty sure you have to be a consultant already to get the 5-cycle.
That's correct. You do have to be a consultant prior to hitting it, meaning that if you've got somebody sitting there with a whole bunch of BV in personal holding volume and they enroll their spouse and then all of a sudden they cycle, a dozen times. I had a guy last night, right? He'd been a consultant before, but he wasn't currently a consultant. And so he became active. He cycled 14 times, right? Boom. But he's not going to get any of these bonuses because he wasn't active prior to hitting that cycle, okay? So you do have to be active as a consultant the week prior to this payout. All right, because what they're trying to incorporate here, just so you guys know, is they're trying to incentivize people to become builders, right? So now we're telling people, look, we want you to start early. We want to get that $500 bonus, then we'll get you a $1,000 bonus, a $2,000 bonus, a $3,000 bonus, and this is it. So when you get to a 4-star, there's not. It's not actually. Take that back. Is there a 4-star bonus? No, there's not a 4-star bonus because you don't get $4,000. No, there's only a 3-star bonus. So when you get to 4-star, you don't get a bonus. When you get to 5-star, you don't get 1, 6, 7, none of the other stars. Jill Bowman got 15-star, made 15-star last Sunday. She didn't get a 15-star bonus, right? Didn't happen. So this is the end of the bonuses that happen for hitting certain cycle numbers. Okay. All right, next one, cycle bonus.
Brent, I got a question.
Go ahead.
I hit the 10 cycle before these bonuses were announced.
Yep.
But I was not paid as executive. Once I hit executive, then do I get just half of it?
Yes, and you'll actually get it now, Kelly, if you hit it again. So
okay.
if you hit 10 now at the status that you're in, because and what she's saying, everybody, just so you know, is Isagenix didn't used to pay the 1-star bonus, the 2-star bonus, or the 3-star bonus unless you were an active executive. Now that they've changed it, if you hit 10 as a manager way back when, but now you hit it again, you'll get paid on it this time. So you will get paid on it this time, Kelly, when you hit it.
500.
Yeah, you'll get paid the first half.
Okay.
And you get paid the second half the second time.
Okay.
Yep.
Or third time in my case.
Third time, fifth time, whatever, girl. Make it happen.
Okay.
Just screwing around. Okay. These are, and I'm going to go through this real quick, but these are your stars. Okay. So when you're seeing what's a star mean? Stars are numbers of cycles. So you can see here that a 1-star is 10 cycles and it goes to 19, because a 2-star is 20 cycles and it goes to 59. 4-star is 60 cycles and it goes to 99. 5-star 100 goes to 149. And from here on out, it's 50 cycles a pop. So 50 more cycles makes you a 6-star, 50 more cycles makes you a 7-star, 50 more cycles makes you an 8-star. Okay. Tracy and I hit 7-star. That was a lot of work. So, yeah, that's how.
Woohoo. And that's to clarify, Brent, that's cycles per week, right?
That's cycles per
Clarify.
week. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Brent.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember, I think Dan said something. Is it also the executive matches count toward those cycles or not?
Yes, executive matches will count towards those cycles for recognition. Okay, but they will not count for those cycles toward bonus pool, right? So,
right. Okay.
As an example, Tracy and I hit 7-star Sunday, but we are not in the 7-star pools because we didn't hit 200 cycles. Well, actually we did. You got to hit 200 cycles. You got to hit it twice in the same month in order to be in the pools. So yes, executive matches count for recognition, but in order to get into the pools that are relevant to these cycles, you guys, you do have to hit them. You have to hit the rank twice in the same month in order to be in that pool. Okay. And all that information is in your back office. If you go to the executive pools, you can pull up that and see all that right there. Okay, one more time back on this. So sometimes you'll see people that'll be listed as, Tracy and I's current rank is 3-star executive, 7-star golden circle. Okay, so what 3-star executive means is that we have 3 people that we've personally enrolled that are executives. And a 7-star is how many cycles that a person has made. Okay, and that doesn't have to stay, right? Because we will maintain that recognition rank of 7-star even if we slip below 200 now. Okay, now obviously that's not our goal, but if you do, so you will see people that will have a recognition rank of something, but they're not actually hitting it on a regular basis. So don't be overly impressed by any of this stuff. It's not 100% true. I mean, it means they hit it, but it doesn't mean that that's what they're really making. Okay, so don't give too many congratulations. All right, max out. In order to max out a center, you get 250 cycles per week. And this is going to get a little deep for some of you, but I want you to get a grasp on it, okay? Just so that you say that you've heard it, so when you hear it again, when you get closer to it, you understand it. 250 cycles per week equals $13,500. That equals $702,000 a year. And then you can get another $13,500 a week in executive match, okay, that Isogenics will let you get. Now, something that you need to be aware of on this is that in order to make this happen, okay, now I'm just going to talk BV now. So when you guys are seeing that, hey, look, I've got this one leg that you're calling it strong, okay, if that, you can only cycle as much as your weakest leg produces, okay? It's kind of like the whole thing of, a chain's only as strong as its weakest link. Well, you can only cycle as much as your weaker leg will produce, okay? Now, if you have one leg that's producing a lot, or what you think is a lot, just realize that in order to max out a business center, in order to really take full advantage of the commissions that are offered, and I want you guys to dream a little bit. I don't want you to look at this and go, oh, I could never do that. I want you to dream a little bit. And why I want you to dream is because I want you to realize how important your team is. If you've got one leg that's doing well and you've got another leg that's not doing so well, know this: you have to have 150,000 BV per week on one leg and 75,000 BV per week on the other leg to max out. So if you have a leg that's not producing 150,000 BV a week, you don't have a max out leg. Okay, it may be a lot, but understand that. So if you've got a leg that's producing 4,000 or 5,000 BV and you're thinking, oh, I can't put anybody over there because I don't need the volume over there. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you're dreaming and you're dreaming big, then you do need people on your left side and you do need people on your right side, regardless of the size or the volume that's being produced, unless it's hitting those numbers on a regular basis. If it's hitting those numbers on a regular basis, you and I need to talk and we can strategize you maybe a little bit different than somebody else. But I know there's nobody on this conversation that is in that situation, me included. Okay? So since that's the situation, just know that it's important to continue to build both your right and your left leg. Okay? 250. Yeah, so that's what that equals, right? That's not too bad. Isogenics will let you earn up to $25,000 per business center. Okay, so if you max out, Isogenics will, remember the little triangle we had of people? Isogenics will literally insert a spot for you above your current name, right above it, right between you and the person that's above you. They'll insert another position in there and let you just build one leg of that, right? That's how you can that's how you'll see, when you'll see somebody that's called a platinum, that means that they've maxed out. So Jill Bowman is a double platinum, right? She's maxed out 2 business centers. So since she's maxed out 2 business centers, she's got, her name is written, her square is here, it's got her name in it. Then right above that square has got another name, it's got her name in it. And right above that square has got another square that's got her name in it. And on all 3 of those, she has to have an outside, and then the inside is built, because that's where she keeps maxing out from. So that's what it is. So dream a little bit, right? Think about how that would impact your life, right? I mean, that's an amazing number. And you can keep doing it over and over again. All right, so what's on the table? Why should you be doing this, and why should you be talking to people about doing this? $10,500 in upfront bonuses, and that's all your rank advancement bonuses, that's your cycle bonuses, that's everything else. You can earn up to $13,500 a week in residual income, and you can earn another $13,500 a week in executive match. And what executive match is, and the reason it's important to get to executive, is because at executive, like there's several of the people that are on this call that are at executive, the important thing is that we earn 10% of all of the cycles of all of our personally enrolled. So when I go to my back office and I look at all the people that I have that are consultants, every Sunday, I go down through there and I click on each one of their names and I see how many times they've cycled. And when I see how many times they've cycled, I add them all up. So this person cycled once, and this person cycled 5, and this person cycled 100 times, and this person cycled 2 times. I'm going to add all of those up, right? As I add all those up, I'm going to draw a line at the bottom, and I'm going to have a total. And let's say that total is 102. Isogenics is going to give me 10% of that number in cycles. So it says 102. Isogenics is going to give me 10 cycles. 10 cycles, 10 times 54, $540, right? So $540 a week in that scenario is being earned because I'm an executive and because I'm constantly working with my consultants to make sure that they're cycling, because my goal is to make sure that they cycle a lot, because the more they cycle, the better it is, right? And this is a lot, and I'm going to leave you guys with this because we're getting into this. This is why I'm telling you, do not ever give away a personally enrolled. And I'm going to tell you a story. Jill Bowman wanted to order, when she started with a 9-day system. Okay? The person that was going to enroll her gave her away to somebody else. Okay? Because they were like, oh, I want this person to become a consultant, so I'm going to give them this person that just wants a 9-day, because they just want a 9-day, so what good is that, right? So that would be like me saying, and since Teresa's right below me here, Teresa, I've got this guy named Steve, and he's going to enroll, and you keep coming to me and saying, oh, I just don't know 2 people, I only know 1, and I know that if I get you to consultant that I'm going to make $100. So I go, woohoo, I'm going to enroll this guy named Steve under you. Right? Steve then becomes a rock star, and Steve maxes out 2 business centers, working on his 3rd. How mad am I about the fact that I made my $100? Right? I made $100. Congratulations. But I'm missing out on, and the person that gave Jill away, right, is missing out on, well, last week it was 601, I know it was actually more than that. It was 600 and something cycles that she made that week. Okay? She made over 600 cycles in a week. So her upline, the person that enrolled her, if they're an executive, and I hope they are. Actually, I know they are. But imagine the person that gave her away is missing out on 60 cycles a week of money. So 60 times 54, right? 60 times 5 is 3,000. So that's $3,000 a week minimum that person gave away when they gave that person. So if I give you somebody like that, Teresa, you better be sending me to Tahiti every other week, right? Because I gave you $3,000 a week.
You can totally put Munzer under me. He's a rock star.
Yeah, right? I wasn't talking about Steve Munzer. I was talking about a different Steve.
Okay.
So, but anyway, that's why you never give your people away, guys. Just don't do it. If you've got somebody who wants to enroll, then you enroll them and you coach them how to do it. You coach them how to do the business, but you do not give your people away, right? I've got Kelly, in this scenario here, I've got Kelly below me and Teresa and Steve, and all three of them are my personally enrolled. I'm going to enroll all three of them. They're all three my people. I'm going to enroll all three of them, and I'm going to show each one of them how to get to people. And if they do, they do. And if they don't, I'm going to enroll somebody else. And I'm just going to keep on enrolling. And that's how you build your business, because you never know who's going to take off. Somebody buys a 9-day, starts with a 9-day system, and now they've maxed out 2 business centers working on a 3rd, right? Do not give your people away. Okay. All right. That's the end of the ones that they sent me, guys. So what I'm going to tell you is that I hope this was educational, and I hope that if you guys have got questions, this is the time to ask it. And I know we've been on here for a while, but I don't want you to click off unless there's questions have been answered. So what do we got?
Hey, Brent, I got a question.
Okay, Danny, go ahead.
Yeah. In terms of the 10% you get of the cycles, is that just in your 4 PET, or is that all the way down your
No, it's 10% of your personal consultants.
Personal consultants.
Yep. They are your consultants. So that's where your 10% comes from. So it has nothing to do with your 4 PET. And what Danny's talking about, for those of you that don't know, 4 PET is how you figure your bonuses when you get into the 2-star plus pools. And your 4 PET, if you go into your back office and you click on your 2-star report, it'll say 2-star plus report. You'll click on that and you'll see you'll see how many times your 4 PET is cycling. And your 4 PET works like this. Every single person that you enroll today, tomorrow, next week, next year, 3 years from now, they are all going to be your number 1 PET. Every single person that they enroll becomes your number 2. Every person that all the number 2s enroll become your 3. Every person that the number 3s enrolls becomes your 4s. Okay? And it doesn't matter when it happens or how it happens. It's just that's the way it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. However many times those people cycle, that's how many times you actually earn shares in the bonus pools, and that's how you get paid. So it's important to recognize, again, why you don't disregard somebody in your team that is cycling. Because if you can help them cycle, but they're not on your strong side or whatever, right? Whatever reason that you're not helping them, if they are cycling, they are going to attribute towards your 4 PET. And although you may not be in the 2-star pools yet, you will be. And when you get there, you're going to be wishing that you had taken better care of your 4 PET people so that you create more cycles. Because when you create more cycles, that's where the real money happens, is in these pools. Jill's, and I know she won't care because I know it's posted, Jill's bonus last month for the pools was just over $60,000, okay, in 4 PET money, okay? So 4 PET means something, right? It means about $60,000 in her case. So, and that's for the month, right? That's a month's bonus, right? So it's amazing. And it takes work, guys. She worked her ass off, right? I believe that Tracy and I work our asses off in this business. We put in a ton of time. I know a lot of you guys also do the same thing. So don't go telling somebody, oh, you can earn all this money, because that's not true. Anybody can, but most people won't. Most people won't do what's necessary to make this level of income and to get there, right? Most people won't do it. They'll find 1,000 excuses. Their excuses will be, oh, well, I don't want to put my personal information on my Facebook page because, people will get it. People think, oh, that's all you want to talk about, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, or I know people that, that might stalk me and hunt me down. Get over it, right? If you want to build this business, you will do what it can. You will do what you can. And when I say what you can, I mean everything that you can to build this business. If you choose not to do everything you can to build this business, just don't expect to earn everything you can, right? And I'm telling you, that's the way this business works. It will pay you more than you've ever imagined, but you are going to work harder than you ever thought you were going to have to, right? That's what it takes. Any questions on that stuff?
Brent, going back to the executive match a little bit, you only need to have 0.5 because they round up also.
Correct. Yeah. So between 5 and 14 consultant points, right? Consultant cycles, I should say. Between 5 and 14 will get you 1 cycle. 15 to 24 will get you 2, right? And so on and so forth, because Isogenics rounds to the nearest number. So if you count your consultant matches, and I've done this, right? I've counted my consultant matches, and I've been at, let's say I'm at 24. I'm going to figure out a way to help somebody cycle one more time if I can. Because if I get them to cycle, if I get one person to cycle one more time, then that's going to push me to 25, and 25 gets me 3 cycles instead of 2. Right? Now I'm not going to spend a ton of money on it because it's only worth $54. But if I can reach out to you and say, hey man, if you order, another 50, if you order another 10 DV, you're going to cycle again. Any chance that could happen? Yeah, you know what? I can place my order today instead of tomorrow, and that'll make me cycle, and fantastic, and boom, done. Right? That's pushed me to the next thing, and it's caused you to cycle again. So you made $54, and it didn't cost you an undue amount of money to make that happen. Okay. Next question. Anybody else?
It's Kelly, Brent.
Go ahead.
Is there a way, so you get paid $100 for every consultant you make up to 20?
Correct.
So you know how many consultants you've created, even ones that have fallen out?
Yeah, if you go to your back office and you click on view personally enrolled details, okay, so go to your back office, click team, click view placement tree, and then scroll down just a little bit, just a couple inches. Off your right side will be a little shaded rectangle that will say view or personally enrolled details. Click on that shaded rectangle, scroll all the way over to the right, and you will see it'll say associate consultant. Because if it says consultant associate, then you can see that you've that was somebody that was a consultant who's now an associate. So you can scroll through there and see that. There's another one too. I know Tracy's probably screaming at me because it's on that report that she looks at all the time. Tracy, if you're on here and you know the answer to that one, you can explain that one, because I know there's another one that shows how many executives you got right, left, consultants right, left, associates right, left, actives, and everything else. Tracy, are you there? She's trying to look it up. She's yelling at me from the back room.
I see this one.
You see it? You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How did you find it?
Just how you just explained it.
What was it under?
You went to team, and then view my placement tree, and then personally enrolled details.
Yeah, there's another one though, Kelly. There's another one.
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
Hi, it's Carrie. I know where that is.
Go ahead, Carrie.
If you go, I have to look at it to tell you.
That's okay.
Go under team. Sorry, bear with me.
You're all right.
Team, view my team. And then it tells you consultant.
Yeah, Tracy's saying there's another one.
On the right.
No,
now.
there's another one. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, if you go to team and then
Yep.
go down to view downline reports.
That was it. Yep. Okay. Correct. Yep. That's
Yep.
it.
Yeah, and it shows you paid as consultants, team right or left.
Yeah, and it'll tell you how many consultants that you've got, and you can add all those up, and that'll tell you what you've done, right? So
Yes.
see
As soon as you get that downline report.
Yep. So either one of those two ways. So one is team view downline reports, and you can see those. You'll just have to count them all up. Or you do what I told Kelly to do, and that is you go to team view placement tree, and then you just go down the side and you just count how many times it says consultant. Okay.
Okay.
I will add something too on your downline reports. If you
Okay.
scroll down to business blueprint and you pull your business blueprint by category, that will show you who your next people are that you need to work on for rank advancements.
Hey, I'm gonna hit mute all real quick, and then just unmute yourself because there's a bunch of background noise. Okay, do that again. Tracy, come back on.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Okay. All right. If you go to view downline reports and then you scroll down and you see business blueprint, you can click on business blueprint by category after you've got a few people that are starting to do the business, and you can see who you need to work on for, who are going to be your next consultants, who will be your next thing. And the very last page of that will show you how many points you have coming up in the following 2 weeks for auto ships. You can kind of see a little bit ahead of time what kind of volume you've got coming in before anybody does anything else.
Does that answer questions? Anybody else got any questions? Thanks, Trace.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to push it to wrap it up, guys. We've got a lot of people on here, and everybody's committed some time here. So if there's questions, let's ask them again, because you don't realize. I want you to take a look around at the people that are on this page, right? There's almost 7,000 people now on Team Shady, right? Look at how many people are on this call. Okay. You guys that are on this call, and I realize there's some people that can't be on the call because they're on travel or they're doing other things, and we've recorded it. But you guys have taken the time to be on this call, and it's super important that you realize that you're one of the people that are here. And if you guys get your questions answered, then it's going to save everybody, you and everybody else, a lot of effort because you've taken the time to be on the call. So if there's questions, let's ask them. If not, we'll wrap it up. But I just want to make sure that everybody knows you can ask questions.
Brent, I just want to make sure everybody understands the importance of staying active and what that means for your cycles and banking volume, because I don't think you covered that today, but there seems to be a few questions about how to stay active and what that means.
Okay, absolutely. So staying active. Active means that you've ordered 100 BV, so 100 points within the last 30 days. Okay. If you, Diane, quit bothering Danny. If you enroll or if you order your product and you order it on the 30th day, okay, so let's say that you're going to order 100 points on your 30th day. If you decide to order 100 points on your 30th day or the 31st or 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th day, your personal holding volume or your cycle ability will not change. Okay, that 100 points is going to go past you into everybody else is going to get it above you, but you're not going to get it. If you order 110 BV, 110 points, you're going to get 10. If you order 120, you're going to get 20, but you're not going to get 120. You're only going to get 20. Okay. If you order that exact same order, but you order it on the 29th day, or the 28th or 27th or whatever, if you order it before the 30th day, then you are going to get all of it. Okay? You're going to get the entire 102, 110, 120, whatever. So it's really important that when you look at when you go to team, view placement tree, and you can do this on your own, click team, click view placement tree, scroll down and look at your name. What is your active date and what is your auto ship date set at? If your auto ship date is set the same day as your active date, it's wrong. Okay? Hang on a second. Sorry. So if you're, again, I will say that again, go to your square or go to or scroll to, and if yours is set up right, then look at the people that are below you and see how many of them have got it wrong. Is their active date the same or later than their auto ship date? And when you look at it, just know that it should be at least 1 day prior. Your auto ship should be 1 day prior to your active date. 1 or 2, either one's fine. But that's how you make sure that you get the full advantage of your points that you order. Okay, does that make sense? Does anybody not get that? And I don't want you to say why. The why is because that's the rules. The answer is that's what it has to be. So go ahead.
Brent.
Yep.
One of the things that we came across that you talked about that was the post that I made a couple weeks or about a week ago. Yep. Is when they bring out new product or different things and people order 100 BV of it or they order partial BV. I think some people get confused about the auto ship because they haven't changed their auto ship. So that's where
yeah. So if you place an order, so let's say that you've got your auto ship set for, let's say you have your auto ship set for, what's today? Today's Tuesday. So let's say you have your auto ship set for Thursday. And let's say tomorrow they come out with some incredible new product that you just have to have, or you go to your pantry and you realize you don't have something. If you go in and you just click order,